Fran.
everyone. Hi,
What's going
Ryan. So good
on?
to see you. Hi, Reagan.
So good to see you. Look
Likewise.
at your setup. Holy
Oh my
cow.
gosh,
Thank
yeah.
you. It's feeding my inner child.
Amazing, as you should.
We have no experience with that, so
Yeah.
I'm Kate with But Boy though, and I'm excited to talk to y'all because Chainsaw Man has been one of my favorite manga for a long time, and it is now my favorite anime route right now. And one of the first things I wanted to ask, did you all feel any pressure of coming in to voice characters that, I mean, I haven't seen a hype for something like this in a long time? Where were y'all at? We can start with Reagan.
yeah, I was really, really, really scared. And I was not in a great place because of just how anxious I was about it. I was thankfully able to take a little time away, just spend a weekend, just me and my grandpa. And he's got a wonderful place with a lot of nature to it. So that was a wonderful little reprieve, and it kind of gave me a little perspective on just how I can think of it as something to be scared of, and or I can think of it as something to be just really thankful for, and to be able to bring this story that I've come to know and love to life. It's just, what more could I ask for?
Yeah, I think we both I think all of us kind of know that if you're bringing fear into this, you can't bring the stuff you have to bring to the characters, and you can't live in the moment and be genuine. And I think that what dominates the worry of expectancy is the love for these characters and wanting to do them justice. And I mean, how much I love this story, and I love Denji, and I love all of these characters, and getting the chance to read for him alone was like such an emotional journey unto itself. But it really is, for me, it's a sense of responsibility, of just wanting to give the boy the love he deserves.
And on that responsibility, I mean, we got two best boys in the room right now. Like, I mean, yes, we all know and love and protect Denji, but Aki is also like,
agreed. Yeah.
They're two best boys, and I love them so much. And I wanted to know what parts of these characters really resonate with you, individually, or do you bring with you when you go into to record? We can start with Ryan this time.
I have to say also, I love Aki too. I think he's such a special character, and Reagan is so beautifully sensitive and nuanced with the performance. It's like chef's kiss. I just love how raw Denji is. I love how present he is, and how he doesn't have, whether it's the lack of ability to know that he can hide the way that he's thinking, or the fact that he just doesn't care and doesn't want to play by the rules anyway. I just love how true he is to himself and to the core of that. And I think that all of us, in different ways, can learn that lesson to be more true to ourselves, just in a sense of owning your power and what that can do to enhance your life. So I think that's what I find so special about him. He's oddly very empowering and inspiring.
Well, I just first want to say, right back at you, Ryan. Like, the way that you portray Genji is so beautiful, and it's so, the passion that you have for this character is so evident in every single line that you say.
Thanks, buddy.
But I'd say what I really love about Aki is what a deeply caring person he is. He has this idea that the way to protect people is to have ultimate power and control over himself. And we see that in especially the scenes that were added that were not in the original manga, of his daily routine, and the way that he kind of checks himself in the mirror before going in to see Makima. He has this need to have absolute control over himself. But as the series goes on, sub watchers will know about this, but there's a moment where you get to see that shining through in the particular action that he takes. And there's so much more that we get to see of him throughout the series. And we see underneath the cold exterior of this very uh, rigid and inflexible guy is a caring protector, and I love getting to uh, portray that.
And I think that like how both of you have described your characters is really the beauty of Chainsaw Man. If you look at it on the surface, it's this guy that really wants to touch a boob, and there's some devils. But as you pull away each of these layers, you uncover like the complexities that were put into this story, and a really human story at that. Were there any I can't talk today.
Don't worry.
It sounds like both of you have read the manga to prepare. What goes into the choice of choosing to read where your characters go? Does it help you in any way, or are you all just fans in general?
Well, with me, I was just I was too far gone. I had already read the thing so many times over that I was just so compelled. I love how challenging the story is and the characters are, and how viscerally real they are and how real the world is for something that is so larger than life. It is all so very much relatable, and the journey is so powerful that I think it's a really cool honor to be able to like help tell this story. And I think that for all the new people experiencing it for the first time, it's so exciting to like share the conversation, see visceral responses, to be able to sit next to somebody watching an episode versus, reading it. It can be such a personal experience. Getting to sit down and share these episodes with people and getting those responses, it's so incredible.
Yeah, I think reading ahead is really helpful for me to know, where they're starting and where they're going to end up, and each little scene along the way is how Aki's preconceived ideas about himself are being challenged. Particularly, I love the scene in episode 4 where Denji's in the hospital and Aki is preparing these little bunny slices for him, and he's essentially treating him like a child, like an animal. Like, okay, I'm gonna give you these little fun treats, and you're going to do what I say, right?
Yeah.
And Denji's just like, yes, but no. And so it's showing that Aki's ideas about, hierarchy and, Aki very much thinks himself as kind of better than Denji in many ways. And Denji is challenging that, and he's going to continue to challenge that over the series. And I'm really looking forward to people seeing it.
And the thing is too, like, even with knowing where the characters go and where the story goes, we can only let that inform our performances so much, because you really want to perform them in that moment. You want to be true to where they are in that space. So a lot of it is still just kind of being present, Yeah.
And how do you all get into character? Because I don't.
I roll around outside in the trash. I usually I get in a dumpster,
I cut the skin off of my forearm.
Honestly,
very good answers.
Yeah. Well, let's just leave it there. Yeah.
But yeah, like what goes into preparing? And Denji is someone who is extremely loud, but as you said, Reagan, too, Aki has like this silent care that kind of comes through in everything that he does as well. How do you all like work at getting the tone of your voice right? How do you craft that character vocally?
For me, a lot of it is just making sure that I am energized when I'm, in the booth, because it's so much high energy stuff. But it's such a joy to be able to like just play cathartic raw emotion in any direction as Denji. So a lot of it is kind of like I've been waiting to like let the chains off for a while, so this is kind of like someone letting a kid into the bouncy house.
Yeah, it's kind of like I have to know what's going on in Aki's head and know what he's trying to get across, and then I kind of put a blanket over it, just like okay, like this is what's going on underneath, but Aki doesn't want you to see it, so here's the different ways he's not going to let you see it.
Yeah.
but sometimes it just kind of peeks through, no matter what Aki tries. So I love doing that.
What do you want people to take away from your characters? Like after, they see them in a couple of episodes, or even after the season's done, like what do you want people to walk away with after getting to go on this journey with your characters?
We kind of touched on it before, but I think with Denji and with in general people resonating with him, I think self-empowerment is a really big thing, and self-love, and kind of understanding that you can be more than what the world maybe tells you you are at times. And that people may not have exactly the same circumstances as Denji, but I think they may come from places where it makes them feel like they do. And I think a lot of people just need to know that they're not alone, and hopefully this helps show them that in a really fun way.
Yeah. And I guess with Aki, it's you are more than you say you are. You can have a lot of expectations for yourself, but sometimes there's things that you just have to let go of. And there are things that the world says you have to be. Aki is constantly wearing this really professional looking, salaryman outfit, but we also see he's got the top knot. He's got, he's got a samurai's uniform, so he's showing a lot of individual personality there, and a very individual thing that's helps to empower him. And so, I would say, I hope that people are able to express themselves in ways that they didn't know they could before.
It's really, I love hearing you two talk about your characters. It's clear that you all love them, and it comes out in your performances as well. I think my last question is, are there any scenes that you all are just really looking forward to voicing, or that you have voiced already?
Yes. I mean, we touched on it before, but I really think between the two of us, it might be the current one. I mean, like there's one coming up very soon for me in the next few episodes that I think is going to be really fun. But Denji and Aki share a bonding moment down the road that is just, and I can't wait for that.
Yeah, I think I've got to give the same answer. I think, of all the scenes that I'm looking forward to doing in this show, there's a lot more that will, come after that scene, but that's probably the one that I think is one of the defining moments for both of those characters. And it's so beautiful in such a Chainsaw Man way. And I'm really looking forward to people seeing it.
One that we have gotten to do together that I really love was from episode 4 when Power moves in.
Yes.
And just that whole chaos montage is so much fun. And like the music, the flutes that are all kind of like out of key and everything, it's like everything about it is perfect. And like hearing the different line reads that everyone got to, it's so funny. It's so funny to me, and their personalities all shine through. It's brilliant.
And it's also kind of a preliminary bonding moment for Denji and Aki, because they finally found somebody
who's common, yeah, exactly.
Like, okay, we can agree that she's a horrible roommate. Great.
Well, I love that you see, like, with Aki's routine, how it's so pristine and everything, but you also realize, like, once Denji wakes up and he's like just kind of going through, you were like, oh, so this has been something that they've created a dynamic already. Like, they've learned how to tolerate this space with each other just enough, and then she comes and just really throws the wrench in the gears, and it's just brilliant.
Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for your time today, and thank you.
Oh my gosh, thank you. It's so good to see you. Thank you. You are the sweetest.
So glad to be here. Thank you so much.